This is something of a regular feature at Doug conferences, and it's something of an enduring Doug success story, because the retail master's dissertation scheme, as was the brainchild of the previous chair of Doug, Keith Dugmore, which was originally kicked off as something of a sort of bilateral, casual relationship, I suppose, really, between University College London and the Doug Group. But since 2014, it's been taken in-house by the Consumer Data Research Centre. And since that time, largely under the auspices of Guy Lansley, who's in the audience, it has fostered about 25 partnerships a year. And so the basic idea of the research dissertation scheme is that it brings three agents together, if you like. It's a nationwide competition open to students and their supervisors throughout the UK at any UK university. And the basic idea is that CDRC acts as a clearinghouse for horizon scanning topics put forward by businesses and also some public sector agencies that really tackle problems that are perhaps not focused on the next quarter's results for a business, but are more of a horizon scanning nature. The idea then is that it brings together a student, typically on a master's postgraduate program, their supervisor, and an industrial supervisor in order to address a problem of real or observable world concern. So practical problem solving is very much at the heart of this program. And it's become, I think I'd be right in saying, one of the Economic and Social Research Council's primary interlocutions with business. It's been very successful over the years, and Doug member companies have in many instances been the linchpins of the projects that have been proposed. So the way that the scheme works is, as I say, the details of the programme are posted on the CDRC website. Students apply to do the topics. Industrial partners interview the candidates, and then, all being well, the dissertation carries on, and upon successful completion, the industrial partner undertakes to make a £500 payment to the student for successful collaboration. So this year there were 260 applications by students for the scheme. From that, the industrial partners selected 28 successful candidates, and of those 28 projects, 26 were successfully completed. And I hope that as many of you as possible have looked at the posters from some of this year's successful projects outside, because the first of the awards here is for the best poster prize, and there are 3 cash awards in addition to that, a first prize and 2 runner-up prizes. And so I'm extremely pleased that Alison Park, the Director of Research from ESRC, has made time in her busy schedule to come to the conference this afternoon. And I'd like to hand over to Alison to present the prizes.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. I hope you've had a good morning. It looks like it's been a fantastic agenda. So I'll announce the prizes in a minute. I just wanted to start off by, I suppose, following up some of the points Paul made about this being an incredibly valuable opportunity, I suppose, for us to work with businesses and work with universities and try and pair up students who are really interested in trying to use data in new ways with businesses who are really interested in finding out what the social sciences might add to their understanding of the business data that they collect. And so I think this dissertation prize is a fantastic way of really celebrating the success of that. And I hope that both sides of the equation, so the business industry side and the more academic side, feel that they've got something mutually beneficial out of this. It certainly looks that way from the outside. So I'm going to start by announcing the winner of the poster prize, which was selected by all of you over lunch. The prize for this is a £100 Amazon voucher. General comment from everybody who was involved in looking at these posters was that the judges enjoyed the wide range of topics that were covered by this year's dissertations. They were particularly impressed by the novel uses of new forms of data that were made across those projects. The award winners were judged to have made particularly strong contributions by comprehensively addressing and solving relevant real-world problems using appropriate methods and novel sources and forms of data. I should add as well that the poster prize was, I think, voted on by everybody here. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So why don't we announce the winner? It was poster number 1, Jessica Swain from the University of Leeds, working with Retail Centre Health, and the partner was Experian. So do we have someone here? Perhaps Jessica, ideally. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Jessica. Whoops.
Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Where would you like us? Just here? Well done, Jessica. Okay, so I'll next announce we have 2 runner-up prizes for the best dissertation. And both runners-up will receive £250 each. And the first runner-up is Catherine Branter, who's from City University in London, working with the sponsor Barclays. And the title of her dissertation was Using Transaction Data to Provide Recommendations for New Restaurant Locations by Generating Lookalike Audiences. So do we have somebody here from Barclays who is able to accept this prize on behalf of Catherine? So if you would like to come up. Thank you, Julian.
Sure.
Thank you. Before you go, let me just read out something about what the dissertation actually looked like. So Catherine was using debit and credit card transaction data to develop consumer profiles of a UK restaurant chain's customers. The information was then applied to identify additional new locations with high proportions of consumers with similar characteristics. The results of the analysis could help the retailer to prioritise new locations with high retail potential. The judges described Catherine's submission as an advanced analysis with commercial relevance. It was deemed to present a novel case for using contemporary data to solve a complex real-world problem. The judges commended the workflow and methods described in Catherine's thesis and their applicability in retail location decision-making. So, thank you. Okay, so the second runner-up, also receiving a cheque for £250, is Andrew Wong Weng Seng from UCL in London, and the sponsor was Movement Strategies. The title of the dissertation was Analysing the Association Between Experience Citizen Classification and Trip Frequency to Retailers in Bath's City Centre. And I understand that Ord from UCL might be able to accept this on behalf of Andrew's supervisor. Oh, that's good. Thank you. And then before you go on, I'll just read out. So just a bit more information about the nature of the dissertation. So Andrew was using Experian Mosaic geodemographic classification of households alongside trip frequency data derived from GPS data to appraise the retail functioning of Bath. The result is an integrated typology designed for town planners and local councils, but is also highly relevant to retailers operating in the study area in Bath City Centre. The judges were impressed by the wide range of data used in the study. The analysis was presented in a logical way, and the results were communicated very clearly. Crucially, the work addressed both the uniqueness of the study area and the general applicability of the data sources and methods to improve our general understanding of the function and form of town centres. So, thank you. Okay, and then finally I'll announce the winner of the 2019 Dissertation Prize. Before doing that, I should just say a thank you to the judges who painstakingly read through all of the entries. So the judges for the Dissertation Competition Prize were Matthew Hopkinson, who is the director of Didobi, and Terrier Trasberg, who's a co-funded PhD student at UCL. So thank you very much to Terrier and Matthew. The overall winner of the prize this year, and she will receive a cheque for £500, is Valeria Rojas Linares from the University of Liverpool, whose sponsor was Liverpool City Region Combined Authority, and the title of her dissertation was Assessing the Cycling Potential of the Liverpool City Region. Now, I'm very sad to say that neither Valeria nor her sponsor are here today, so I'll just read out to you what the dissertation was about, and we will find a way of making sure that the prize gets to Valeria. The project looked at a range of factors that influenced the decision to cycle to work in Liverpool City Region. It also identified the street segments which might benefit most from investments in new cycling infrastructure. The judges felt it was a very well-executed study with clearly stated aims and objectives. It tackled a very prescient problem, and I can testify to that as being a cyclist in London, and the results were coherently presented. The outcome of the project is of clear benefit to its sponsor, and the judges were particularly impressed with the visual representation of the results. So a huge clap for Valeria, even though she's not here.
Thank you very much indeed, Alison. So that's this year's awards. Just in closing, reminder to people in the audience, it all kicks off again now for the next year's cycle, and we'll be soliciting topics in the coming months. As a self-contained programme, this Master's Dissertation Scheme has been incredibly successful, but as Jonathan Reynolds was saying before lunch, it's also one of the underpinnings to CDRC's so-called ladder of engagement. And so this programme is also incredibly important in that from collaborative master's projects, in the past, collaborative PhD studentships have developed, and indeed collaborative research programmes. And so this programme is catalytic to engagement between the academic sector and the business sector at a whole range of levels. And going back to Tim Dry's conference theme of hard-to-reach groups and hard-to-reach data sources, it is by virtue of its extent and nature, in effect, CDRC's sensor web of how the data landscape is changing. Data are arguably the world's greatest resource. New forms of data, new data structures, new measures of activities, new measures of social behaviour are developing all of the time. And this scheme is very much CDRC's tendrils, if you like, are sort of across the data landscape, looking at what is emerging and looking at how it can be harnessed for the social good in reaching not only particular business targets, but the wider social community. So I'd just like to close then by thanking you all for voting over the lunch break, for thanking Alison for making time to attend the conference and present the awards, and to remind as many of you as possible to participate in the programme in the coming year. So thanks very much, and once again, congratulations to the winners.